someone dies and they leave a will behind, we always think properties, money, something to share. But that will is actually an instruction, a written instruction of how the person who has died wants things to be done in his absence. So when you say when we talk about the will of God, the same way the will of God is an instruction of how he wants his things to be done. God has a will, he has a way, and he has a purpose. So, sometimes I know a lot of us, we want to serve God, we want to do the will. When you say you want to do the will of God, what you are saying is that you want to do God's things the way he wants them to be done, the way he has instructed that they should be done. You see, sometimes we feel like we can just do something like, the end justify the means. I can just, as long as I'm doing it for God's kingdom, it's acceptable. God is not hungry, God is not, you cannot just bring God whatever and then he would accept it. It has to be done. Someone once told me that God's will has to be done God's way, has to be done in God's time and with God's resources. You cannot go pull stuff together and then just come and give it to God and say, oh, you remember that scripture that says that some people will come and they will tell God that we did this in your name, we prayed the sick with them. Jesus didn't say they didn't do those things. He just said he didn't know them. So the things that we're doing, we want to do them for God, do them for God. Are you actually, you can't say you're doing them for God if you're not doing them the way he wants them done, if you're not following his will. You cannot achieve his purpose. You cannot fulfill his will outside of his ways. So sometimes we need to actually sit down, settle down, and learn God's ways. You cannot do God's will outside of God's ways. God has ways he wants things to be done. And you can see it all through the scripture. So, before you get one instruction, I want you to build a generation of blah, 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 and you just run off with it. We need to come back and ask God for his ways, how he wants it done, when he wants it done, what purpose does he want to achieve with it. You see, these three, they have to come together. So when we say we are serving God, when we say we are doing God's will, when we say we are doing God's work, let's check if we are doing it his way. Let's check if we are actually doing his will, or we are just using our talents to, just rubbing our talents in God's face. You see the issue of talent, and we'll come back to it. But for now, I'm just saying, God's will has to be done his way, with his resources, and in his time. I'm just saying.